Isn't my car ready, Pitkin?
Oh, it won't be long, sir.
I wanted it for lunch.
Well, now I'll give you indigestions.
Sir Norman Wisdom, the universally beloved British comedian and actor, passed away 14 years ago, leaving a rich legacy behind of laughter and iconic performances. Best known for his slapstick humor and his role as Norman Pitkin in the popular Pitkin film series, Wisdom captured the hearts of audiences worldwide. But in the years following his death, rumors have circulated regarding his final days and the actions of his family. Facts Verse UK presents He Died 14 Years Ago. Now Norman Wisdom's family confirms the rumors. Norman's remarkable life and career.
I never know why my parents didn't love me. Really, it wasn't because, you know, I wasn't ugly, although I wasn't claimed that I was pretty, really.
Norman Wisdom's 6-decade career began unexpectedly while serving in the British Army during World War II. During an entertainment night in 1940, the 25-year-old Wisdom stepped out of the orchestra pit and started shadowboxing and making funny faces, causing his fellow soldiers to burst into laughter. This marked the birth of his signature persona, the successful failure. After being demobilized in 1945, Wisdom honed his act in London and Brighton theaters. He quickly rose to stardom, becoming a West End theater star within 2 years. His trademark costume, a tight-fitting suit, crumpled collar, askew flat cap, and mangled tie became iconic, as did the accident-prone character that went with it, known as the Gump. Wisdom's breakthrough came with a series of low-budget star vehicle comedies for the Rank organization, beginning with Trouble in Store in 1953, which earned him a BAFTA award for Most Promising Newcomer. His films, while not always popular with critics, were box office gold and helped Rank stay afloat financially. Wisdom's international fame spread far and wide, making him a cultural icon in Communist Albania, where dictator Enver Hoxha allowed his films to be shown. Charlie Chaplin once referred to Wisdom as his favorite clown. Later in his career, Wisdom found success on Broadway and won critical acclaim for dramatic roles on television. In recognition of his contributions to entertainment, Wisdom was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 2000, becoming Sir Norman Wisdom. The laughter fades.
I can't give you anything but love.
In the mid-2000s, those close to Wisdom began noticing alarming changes in his personality, as the insidious grip of dementia tightened around his once brilliant mind. The man who had brought laughter to millions was diagnosed with incurable vascular dementia, a cruel disease that gradually starved his brain of oxygen, causing his mental state to deteriorate. The once quick-witted and jovial Wisdom became increasingly irascible and impatient, prone to arguing over petty things he would have previously shrugged off with a characteristic jut of his jaw. He became bloody-minded and at times not much fun to be around. As his condition worsened, Wisdom's family made the heart-wrenching decision in 2007 to move him into the Abbotswood nursing home on the Isle of Man. It was a choice they didn't make lightly, but one they felt was necessary to ensure he received the care and attention he needed. To remove the temptation and confusion for Wisdom, his beloved cars, a 1987 Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit and a top-of-the-range Jaguar S-Type, were sold, as he could no longer comprehend why he wasn't allowed to drive. His treasured mansion, Ballala, a place filled with memories of happier times, was put on the market to fund his ongoing care. Phil Day, Wisdom's longtime friend and publicist, made the emotional journey to visit him at the nursing home in 2008. Although Wisdom recognized Day as an old friend, it was painfully apparent that the once razor-sharp mind was slowly being eroded by the relentless march of dementia. In an effort to bring some joy to his friend, Day took Wisdom for a drive and visited some of his old pals on the island. But upon their return, Wisdom's confusion and disorientation came to the fore. With a mixture of sadness and frustration, he heartbreakingly declared, "I don't live here, I live in Ballala," a stark reminder of how far his mind had slipped. In the months that followed, Wisdom's condition continued to deteriorate. During their final phone call, just 10 months before Wisdom's passing, Day was met with a soul-crushing silence when he greeted his old friend. The man who once captivated audiences with his quick wit and boundless energy no longer recognized the voice of his longtime confidant. On October 4, 2010, after a series of devastating strokes had ravaged his already fragile health, Sir Norman Wisdom passed away peacefully at the Abbotswood Nursing Home, aged 95. Addressing the rumors and his family's response.
He'd started dementia and he'd gone into a residential care home, but he was always quite fit physically. It's just that he'd had a stroke a little while ago and started getting weaker, I think. And
in the wake of Wisdom's move to the nursing home, a flurry of rumors and accusations began to circulate, casting a shadow over an already emotionally charged situation. Some claimed that his family had callously dumped him in the home, abandoning him in his time of need. There were also allegations they had barred his old friends from visiting, isolating him from the people who cared about him most. Furthermore, rumors swirled that Wisdom's family had sold off his cherished house and prized possessions without his knowledge or consent. These accusations painted a picture of a family more concerned with financial gain than the well-being of their ailing father. But Wisdom's children, Nick and Jackie, have vehemently denied these hurtful and baseless accusations. They maintain the decision to place their father in a nursing home was not made lightly, but rather was based on the clear advice of medical professionals who insisted Wisdom required specialist care that could only be provided in a dedicated facility. The sale of his cars, they explain, was a practical decision made to remove the temptation for Wisdom to get behind the wheel. Addressing the claims they had banned visitors from seeing their father, Nick and Jackie clarified that the password system, rumored to be in place, was in fact a measure put in place to protect the family from unwanted intrusions and interference during an incredibly difficult and emotionally draining time. They stressed that their sole motivation throughout this challenging period was ensuring their father's comfort, safety, and well-being. Everything we did was done out of love for our father, Nick Wisdom insists, his voice filled with emotion. We reluctantly had to stop people coming to see him. They all wanted to talk about the past, and he couldn't remember it. It was too painful for him. Jackie echoes her brother's sentiments, adding, quote, "People with dementia need specialist care. We got a lot of flack for putting him in a home, but it is not an easy decision for any child to make." The reality, they say, was a far cry from the rumors and accusations that had been so hurtful to the family during an already unimaginably difficult time. They'd been forced to make tough choices, but every decision was driven by their deep love and concern for their father's well-being. Keeping the memory alive. Though Sir Norman Wisdom is gone, his memory lives on through his massive body of work and the mementos he meticulously collected over his storied career. As a compulsive hoarder, Wisdom kept everything from his famed props to fan letters. Quote, "He never took a moment of his wonderful life for granted, which is why he kept it all," Nick shares. These cherished items, Nick vows, will stay in the family forever, a priceless archive of a life spent bringing joy and laughter to the world. For his children, Wisdom's belongings also serve as a reminder of the fun-loving father they adore, even as dementia stole him away bit by bit. Though his final years were marred by the cruel ravages of dementia, Sir Norman Wisdom will forever be remembered as a giant of British comedy, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become a global star. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of this legendary comedian? Let us know in the comments section below.